What's up, everybody? It is a Blue Drake, and today I want to update you on a major update for Operation Harsh Doorstop. We finished our first initial implementation of the animation overhaul for the entire game. This is currently in test environment, and we're still working on this, we're still iterating, but I wanted to show you just how big of a difference this makes for the entire game, not just right now, but also how we develop the game going forward. So, obviously, recoil, weapon handling, animations, all of that has just been completely and fundamentally refactored, which means that we've basically taken the entire foundation of the animation system and replaced it with just a completely different methodology of how you handle weapons and how you handle weapon animations. So, for instance, all of the different camera positions for ADS and different optics is now completely procedural. So this means that not only can you put the camera wherever you want on a weapon, not only can you have support for multiple different optic types and multiple different optics on the weapon, which is going to be a pretty big prerequisite for the weapon customization that we're planning for the future, but you can also have things like point aiming. So for instance, right here, you can see that I'm actually not aiming directly down the sight. I kind of have it a little bit off bore, and you can use that in CQB situations, or if you have like a laser pointer on the gun, in order to have better situational awareness while you're actually engaging the enemy. And you can do this with any different weapon. So you can see here I have an AK variant, and I'm using point shooting in a CQB situation. You can also reload while you're in a point shooting mode. You can really do any animation in combination with anything else now. So as you can see, I have the weapon and point shooting. I can do the exact same reload animation that I would do in any other state of the weapon. And in addition to that, this means that we also have support for bolt action reloading. We also have support for reloading while you are in a bipod position, and I'll show examples of that in the future. But this is just the beginning of a pretty major milestone for our game, where our game is going to start feeling like AAA shooters. This is the same methodology and the same systems that leading shooters put in their games and how they handle their game FPS mechanics, and we have that now. And I'm hoping when you guys get your hands on this, and if you have the test environment, you can get your hands on this right now, even though there are a lot of things that we still have to polish up, because you don't just swap out the entire animation system without having a couple of cleanup jobs to do for all of the different features, getting them in line. But I think that you guys are going to notice that this is going to have a real big impact on how the game feels and how it stacks up against other AAA games. And I think that's a really good thing. I mean, I'm actually really excited about this. I didn't think that it was going to turn out this good. I knew it was going to be better, but I didn't know it was going to be this much better. And because of this, we've actually made a pretty foundational shift in our weapon handling as well. As you guys originally realized, or as you've originally seen, we actually have floating point aiming, or like dead zone based aiming, while you're both in iron sight and also while you are not sighted with the weapon. And a big reason for that was because we didn't have this big animation overhaul, so it actually looked a lot better when you had that free aim element in the game. But now, since we have a much more subtle and dynamic system for dealing with weapon sway and all that stuff, we've actually shifted the weapon handling system to be identical to how Insurgency Sandstorm handles their weapon handling as well. So when the weapon is not sighted, you have a little bit of a dead zone, but when the weapon is sighted, other than a little bit of weapon sway, the weapon is fixed to the center point of the screen. And this is actually something that you can still modify. So if you want to create a mod where you have free aim while you're in ADS or not, or if you want to just change that as a setting, you can. But as you can see, this has a really big impact on everything. So for instance, take this this machine gun here. You can actually reload this while you're in a bipod state, and as you saw previously, there was the bolt action. You can reload a bolt action weapon while you're running, while you're proning, while anything. So this is a pretty crazy update. I'm probably going to be doing more videos as we go forward with this. Our objective right now for the next couple of months is, as I've stated before, we kind of do everything in waves. So our first objective is to get our game to feel like it is on parity with Insurgency. So like our first milestone is we want the game to feel like Insurgency from an infantry standpoint. Our second milestone, once that is, you know, completely perfect and polished, then we're going to try to move on to being on parity with Squad or Hell Let Loose, where we have the entire vehicle and logistical system, maybe even aircraft. And then our final objective, once all those things are done, is to have the game be on parity with Arma from kind of like a meta feature standpoint, where, you know, you have an in-game editor, you have kind of like Zeus style game modes in addition to all of the things that we've done. You know, imagine Arma with the gunplay of Insurgency Sandstorm and the logistics and large-scale team play of Squad. That's our ultimate objective, and if you guys want to help us reach it, look, we are really killing it recently. When I started this whole project, obviously you don't start a project, you know, with the intention to fail, but right now we are building up so much momentum, and I feel so confident that we are going to be able to accomplish all of the things that I have talked about, and probably more if things keep going this way. I hope that as you guys continue to see the progress that we're making, you're going to realize that this is for real. This is not, we're not fucking around. Like, this is for real, and this not only has been in the works for years, but I have a feeling that our unique situation, with me being a YouTuber and, you know, not a AAA game development studio, or, you know, not even an indie development studio with kind of like a greedy publisher or anything like that, this is one of the only opportunities that I think we have as a community to create our own game, and we're actually doing it. And there's a lot of other games that have still been coming out and bombing, and the reason they are bombing, in my opinion, is they don't have our perspective. They're not making a game the way we know we need to make a game, and the way our community knows that we need to make a game. So I don't know. I think this is it. This is our shot. And I hope if you guys continue to support, I'm going to be able to keep proving to you time and time again that we're going to do this and that it's going to be for real. So today I'm going to be doing a live stream. I'm also going to be doing kind of like a showcase and a meetup with our community, as we usually do. We are very close to 2,000 Patreon supporters, and that's a huge deal. So if you guys want to help us hit that number, please click the link below, go support us on Patreon, and I hope you can see that every single penny and more of that money is going into making this the best possible revolutionary first-person shooter platform that I think will release, and maybe, if we do our job right, has ever released, maybe since Battlefield 2 or some of the classic games that kind of did what I want them to do. Although even those games weren't free. I'm hoping this can be the ultimate game that we've all wanted since we were kids. If not, maybe even a little bit better. And not only is every single tiny bit of resources that the community is giving going into making this game, trust me when I say every single penny and beyond is going into this, but in addition to that, I am also pouring my YouTube earnings, my sponsorship earnings, like literally everything that I get is going into this. So I don't know, not only is 100% of the Patreon going to this, maybe 200% of the Patreon is going into this. And if you guys want to take that and augment that even further, then hopefully you all can see that I'm all about this, and I'm not going to stop until this is done. And if you guys can help me get there, and we do this, dude, we make this game once. We make this game one time, and it's over. We make this game once, and it's over. And that's it. It's looking like we actually can do it. So, besides that, I'm going to see you guys at the live stream. Make sure you go and visit the live stream. I'm going to be giving keys away to the multiplayer playtest there. And besides that, I'll see you guys again here very soon. Remember, Blue Drake loves you, and goodbye.